From a top-secret location, it's the spies who love me, bringing together MeTV's top super spies to fight evil at a memorable moment's notice. They're daring.
That's right.
Brave.
Now what are we gonna do?
The best we can.
Suave.
Does that apply to me, Oscar?
Possibly.
And smart.
The old finger in the gun trick.
Maxwell Smart.
MeTV Fresno, channel 43.6 and Xfinity 187.
Hi, I'm John Malos. Welcome to this live edition of Connect with Me on the showroom floor at Ventura TV today. Today is Ask an Expert Day. We're going to talk to an expert on how to protect your identity. Ever so important in this day and age of electronics. 436-MeTV, option 11. Do call in. Hey, this is a program today where we want your total involvement. We're back in just a moment. Glad you're back with us here on the program today on Comcast Channel 187. I want to put that graphic on the screen immediately because you already know that you are watching us on Comcast each and every day, Monday through Friday. That's 187. I've been actually laughed at by some police officers. Gee, Channel 187 on Comcast, 187 stands for homicide. Anyway, it's also over-the-air broadcast 43.6 and 13.1. You can catch the replay later today at 13.6 U2 at 2 o'clock. And then 8 o'clock tonight, 4.6. That would be Biz TV. And then, of course, on YouTube, you can catch us 24/7. You can follow me at Twitter at John Malos. MeTV, the Twitter account, not that old, and so I'm behind the times, I guess. Anyway, today is a very important program here on Connect with Me because we ask for your total involvement. If you've been ripped off, if you've had your identity stolen, if you've had your credit card stolen, how about when you go to the store like Target or Costco or any of these department stores and you're there punching in your PIN number and there's somebody over your shoulder kind of spying on you at what you're doing? Do you need to cover up? All right, that's the question. But protecting your identity, I think, is one of the first and foremost important things in your life going on right now because of all the electronic devices, the computers, the iPhones, the iPads, and everything else. Credit card theft. I want to talk about that. Let's put that up on the screen now. It's very important to talk about this. It seems we are more vulnerable now than ever before, especially when it comes to these credit card scams. Hackers are now relying on a variety of techniques to hack into your account, like war driving. That's when the bad guys hack into a wireless network and they install spyware. Another way to stick it to you is phishing, in which spoofed emails prompt victims to enter account information. Boy, or how about this? Smishing. Ever heard of that? It's like phishing, but with text messaging. Some even install key logging software to spy on your PC. Others use ATMs and gas pumps, as you will see later in our program. Also, you should know about account takeovers and new application fraud. Live in our studio right now is Blair Looney. He is the president and the CEO of the Better Business Bureau here in Fresno, serving all the Central Valley. Recently, Blair and his associates addressed the Fresno Association of Realtors about identity theft. They have a new program they've just come out with and some new stats and figures and some ideas on how to protect yourself. So they are out and about in the community. Blair is, his associates are, warning the public about identity theft. You know what's gone on at Target, you know what's gone on at Home Depot, and with Anthem Blue Cross. We'll touch on all of those subjects today. This is a program where we need your involvement and your calls. 436-MeTV, option 11. We're back in just a moment.
watch Dr. TV on over-the-air channel 13.9.
Is taking care of laundry taking too much of your time? Have you become a missing mom? With a new fast, efficient washer and dryer from Ventura TV Video Appliance, you'll spend more of your day the way you want. Save now on Frigidaire's Advanced Affinity Laundry Pair. Let Frigidaire save you energy, water, and time. Don't spend your life on laundry. Upgrade today at Ventura TV Video Appliance and save.
It's almost time.
Now we'll find out once and for all about Clark Kent and Superman.
Look up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's a TV show.
Yes, but who is he? What's his name?
He's Superman.
Golly, Clark, won't that be wonderful seeing Superman?
Fighting a never-ending battle for truth, justice, and television the Me TV way.
No one can do the things that Superman does.
The Adventures of Superman.
Now on Me TV Fresno, Xfinity 187.
Back here on the program, we're talking about identity theft, and it's a huge issue right now in this country, all over the country. People are talking about it because some people, a lot of people, have been ripped off with their identity, have had their credit card stolen, or their debit card. Somehow the people steal the PIN number. It's so easy to do with cell phones now. Blair Looney is a return guest here on the program. Haven't seen you in a while. Your two associates were here, though, first of the year, and they were fantastic here on the show. Welcome back, sir.
Well, thank you very much, John. It's a pleasure to be here and to talk with your audience today. And our associates are disappointed that they couldn't be with you because they've enjoyed the show and they've enjoyed your viewers and the questions that get called in. Yeah. It's reflective of the work we do every day and the community that we represent. So we're really happy to be here and talk with your audience today.
Well, you guys do an outstanding job. Tell us about the program now, this program that you put together to try to inform the public all over the Central Valley. In fact, Lilia couldn't be here today, Gabby couldn't be here today, but they're out and about doing what? Informing the public about this? And you've done that in the past couple days.
Lily, unfortunately, couldn't be with us today because she's up at Madera High School, and she's talking with them about a program we have called Smarter Living for Students, which talks about how to handle things financially. And then Gabby is out at Naval Air Station Lemoore talking with the military people about how not to get ripped off and have their identity taken while they're temporarily here in the Central Valley before they get shipped out.
Yeah.
So we've got a lot of busy things going on.
Tell us about your travels the last couple of days. I know you spoke before the Fresno Area Realtors Association, and you're talking about identity theft, and you're here today to talk about it. Is it as prevalent as we hear about it on television and read about it in the paper?
It absolutely is, John. When we go back to 2 years ago Christmas time, October-November period, and Target got hit for 40 million people had their identity harvested from their credit cards through Target.
Yeah.
4 months later, we have Home Depot hit at 60 million customers. I happen to be one of those who had my information harvested off of one of my credit cards. And then just the last few months, we've had Anthem Blue Cross with 80 million people having their identity. And that particular hack not only got your credit card numbers, it got your driver's license number, it got your social security number and your health records. So it's just huge. But that's the big global national picture. Locally is where we have focused in on at the BBB. And we've got a presentation that we're happy to present to any service club, organization, come out to a membership group and present to people to try and educate them on what they can do, how to identify it, and what they can do to help prevent themselves, the tips that they could have. And I think we're going to go through some of those points today. We will be able to talk with people on that and help them address some of those things, see how we can educate the public on being smarter and bringing that to the local level.
Okay, we got a phone call here. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead. Hello, caller?
Yes, hi.
Go ahead, you're on the air.
Hi, John. Hi, Blair. Great topic today, John. Blair, I heard you say you were also a victim of Home Depot, as well as was I. So let me just ask you a real quick question. Now, I changed my bank card number, and I think that was pretty much the gist of what the bank called me. They let me know that the card was compromised at Home Depot, and that I needed to change the information. So I had to change all my accounts. Now, are there any other measures that I should have taken, or I could still take? This maybe happened, I think, maybe about a month or two ago, maybe a little bit longer. But that's my question. I mean, are there any other measures other than changing my card number that I should be considering or doing following having my card breached at Home Depot?
Yeah, that's a very good question. And as I said, I was a victim of this. And to add insult to injury, it happened to be when I was shopping for materials for my son's Boy Scout Eagle project. Mm-hmm. So what better in America to do than that? And we got our credit card information taken. Just like you, the bank issued me a new card, and they're watching that account. What I did is I put that credit card to the side, and I'm not using it right now. So it's been many months that I have not used that credit card, so I could watch the activity and see if there was somebody using it to try and track it down. And then you want to check with the credit bureaus to see if there's any activity on, and keep monitoring your credit card off of there. And then you want to go to check your credit on annualcreditreport.com at least once a year. And
you have to register with them online to check that, or how do you do that?
You go online at www.annualcreditreport.com, and then you fill out the questionnaire from there, and there's specific questions that you give them information, and then you get how you're doing and what's going on with you.
Do you have to pay for that service?
No, that's a free service. That's completely provided for free.
Okay, all right. Now, I'm a member of Anthem Blue Cross. Now, how am I going to know if my information has been compromised? Do I call them? Do I look on? I don't even know where to look online.
Anthem Blue Cross is putting together their program right now, and they're trying to find out exactly how many people and who they were and what accounts. And my understanding is that their current program is that we will be notified through our broker or our previous broker where we were.
Gee, many Christmas. And so this could affect millions upon millions of people, Anthem Blue Cross.
Anthem Blue Cross is estimated to be 80 million Americans.
Yeah, and so how many of those are compromised? We just have no idea at this point. I think I'll bet it's almost an impossible task to find out how many of those Americans and those customers were affected.
It is so large that they're not prepared for it. You are correct on that.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, we got to take a break here, but we're going to come back with Blair Looney. He is the president and the CEO of the Fresno Better Business Bureau right here in our great city of Fresno, and you are welcome to call in if you have a question about identity theft, how to protect your identity. We're going to go over this plan point by point by point. We're also going to show you an incredible piece of videotape that we saw on the internet yesterday. It's called, has to do with skimming. And a skimmer, using a skimmer to steal your identity off a card. We'll show you that when we come back with Blair. But call in. This is a program where we need audience participation, my friends. 436-MeTV, option 11. Back in a moment.
You can find movies on over-the-air channel 13.3. Movies. Our name says it all.
Well, let me tell you something. The hackers are out there waiting to get to you and to your information. They don't even need to speak to you. They can just get your information without you even knowing it while you're sleeping. Safe and sound inside your home, Blair. You think you're safe? You're not.
You're not, John. 24/7, 365. Somebody is trying to get the information on you because it's all out there in that world of internet technology, websites. It's all there.
Yeah. You know, everyone in our audience, I'm sure, goes to the store at some point or another. Unless you're perhaps housebound or wheelchair bound or whatever, someone goes there. They go to the store. They maybe go to a fast food restaurant. You have to stop and get gas, right? Let's roll a piece of videotape. I want to show you a brazen credit card thief at McDonald's somewhere in Florida. This is an attendant right there at McDonald's. Look at that, Blair. He's swiping a credit card twice, not once. Once for charges, the second time with a skimmer. Tell us what a skimmer is.
Well, a skimmer is a device that's attached inside the processing unit of the credit card machine, and it reads the information that is on the back of your credit card. And then that information can be stored in a device on the skimmer, or it can be electronically sent off-site to another location to where that information is then stored, and they're harvesting the information on that consumer.
Yeah, you go in to get some chicken McNuggets, and you come out and you have your credit card stolen. Here, you can install these skimmers too in gas pumps, because people are using like a universal key to open up these pumps, install the skimmer, like right there where they're installing a skimmer, and the skimmer steals the information as you're swiping your card, right, to get gas?
That's exactly correct. And what they like to do, the people who do this installation of the skimmer, is they like to use the outside pumps that are not visible from the window of the mini mart or service station, and the clerk there cannot see them. So they're on the outside. They open that up. It takes just a fraction of a second to install that skimmer and close it back up. I go to a particular station that has a strip across that unit if the seal is broken, someone has been inside there, and they always replace the seal when they go in to make adjustments on the machine. And so that's a way that station is trying to protect the customers that they have.
Wow. And you can also install these skimmers in ATMs, but there is a way. I was reading on the internet last night that the way you can check the ATMs is if you grab the ATM and start shaking it a little, and if it's unsteady, that means someone has tampered with it. Because usually ATMs are rock solid.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So another thing that you're bringing up, John, is you need to be aware of what's going on around you. So don't just trust everything to be perfect. It's not the days of leave it to Beaver anymore. You know, it is someone's out there trying to do this, and they're working with that machine, and they have altered it, and you need to go up, and if it's loose and it doesn't look right, don't be using it. Don't stick your credit card in there. Go down the street to another one.
Are you susceptible if you're on Facebook, if you're on Twitter?
You're susceptible no matter where you are. There's always a way for someone to be trying to harvest information on you. Facebook has got a lot of security protocols into there, but you and I are friends on Facebook. But I don't know who your friends are, and you don't know who my friends are, and I've got some friends who are really on the periphery, and you've got some who are on the periphery. And so they may send me a request to, I want to be a friend with you, and I just hit the profile and look at it and go, I don't have any reason to have ever contacted this person or to have met them, and so I don't hook on with them. They can get in. Once they get in, they're going to be able to figure out how to get into my machine and harvest other information on me.
Just be aware of who is trying to friend you on Facebook, because maybe they're trying to lure you into a trap. I've had that happen before, and I've blocked them. So Facebook is, you think sometimes it can be safe, and yeah, they have all kinds of security measures, but nothing's a guarantee.
Well, you know, John, you filled out a profile when you got on Facebook, and what we do is we disclose too much information about ourselves. And so we're giving people information. They're building a profile. They're building an electronic data file on us. So let's just say they use Facebook and they harvest and they get certain amounts of information. They know when my birthday is because that's something that's on Facebook. Oh, having a birthday this week. You see that all the time. Next thing you know, my credit card gets skimmed at the gas station. Now they've got some other information on me. You start to put these two databases together, and pretty soon there's a third one that comes along, and there's some more information there. Let's say that on top of those three that I just described right there, you add Anthem Blue Cross in, you've now got my Social Security number and my driver's license number and my date of birth. You've got a complete profile of who I am, and you can go out and take my identity.
Last night I received a call from Anthem Blue Cross, I think it was, and they were checking on my health status with the policy and everything else. Okay, how did I know that that was really Anthem Blue Cross? I told the gentleman on the other line, I said, you know, I don't know who you are. I don't really know if you're from Blue Cross. You know, I'm just going to hang up now because I'm not going to give you any personal information. Did I do the right thing?
You did the right thing. typically they're not going to call you for an update. They're going to send you through traditional mail, here's this form, and you have to update the information on that form and mail it back to them, and that's your protection. They know that. They're not going to be calling you to have current status about you. That's you did the right thing. It's not standard operating procedure.
Yeah. I didn't even confirm that it was me on the phone with them. So I said, well, you don't know who I am. I don't know. John Mallows may or may not be here. I'm not sure.
Well, and you know, John, they already know your ID number and what group number you're into, so they don't need to be asking you that, which is why they mail it to you. They're not going to, you know, they're going to ask you for your driver's license. They already know your driver's license number.
Yeah.
The things that they have on file, they don't need to ask you. I always turn it around to them and say, well, why don't you tell me what you have, and I'll confirm whether it's correct or not.
Yeah, good advice. Hey, 436-ME-TV option 11 if you want to join the conversation. We're going to come back and go over this PowerPoint presentation that the Better Business Bureau is out there touting right now to try to protect you, the average citizens, from a ripoff, from identity theft. Blair Looney, the president and the CEO, is here from the Better Business Bureau. We're back with our program in a moment.
Want to create something extraordinary? Create perfection. Our lifestyle appliances make it easy. KitchenAid, Ventura TV appliance, and you, when only the best will do.
Trying to protect your own identity can be a full-time job, and once you have your identity ripped off, it's very difficult to try to defend yourself and try to get it back. I remember, Blair, several years ago, this was maybe 2008, 2009, I vaguely remember this story. The Today Show interviewed this woman who apparently had her identity stolen, and apparently these hackers or ID thieves were embezzling money using her identity, and she received a phone call saying that they were going to come and arrest her because she was, you know, involved in this activity, that activity, all illegal, and she was stunned. She's like a 65-year-old woman, retired. She had no idea what they were talking about. That's how bad it can get.
Oh, it gets that bad all of the time. I mean, it's just someone takes your information and they're out there impersonating you, and they're spending money like crazy.
Like a drunken sailor.
Well, I've never been around a drunken sailor. I wouldn't know.
But I mean, and that's the scary part, is that can happen. I mean, somebody can impersonate you, and then you're in trouble. I mean, that makes no sense.
That's correct. I'm responsible for what they've done.
And you can't clear your name even though you can prove that you are not involved in any of those transactions?
It is a lengthy and difficult process to prove that. When you feel that you've had your identity taken, first thing you want to do is file a police report. Let them know, and then start the contact with the credit card companies you have, letting them know that your credit card has been stolen, compromised, it's been lost, and then start monitoring your bank accounts, and then going back to annualcreditreport.com and putting a report in there. Let the credit bureaus know that this has happened to you so it can be watched, because all of a sudden there are going to be unusual purchases that don't follow the pattern of what John Mallows or Blair Looney do regularly. You know, and that credit card starts to show up in Miami, Florida, and we live in Fresno, and there was no airline ticket purchased for us to get to Florida. The bank's looking at it and going, well, this is unusual activity. How did we get there?
Yeah. Okay, another phone call coming in. Good morning, caller. You're on with Blair Looney from the Better Business Bureau. Your question, please.
Yes. I have a small internet business, and I use a laptop. Well, it went down, and a friend said, well, my son-in-law fixes them. Well, I haven't heard from her in 5 weeks, and I'm really starting to worry because I have a PayPal account and things. What do I need to do?
Well, I would get my laptop back right away, number one, and be in possession of it, and then find a reputable repair company that you can check out, and we have those online at the BBB, where you can go in to at bbb.org, put in the name of the company you want to look at, and look at their report and see if they're properly licensed. And you can also see if they have any consumer complaints or any issue in that area. And you want to talk to them before you turn over your laptop, because as you pointed out, everything about you and your business is on the hard drive of that laptop.
Okay.
You need to take preventive measures on that right away.
You still there, ma'am?
Yes. What do I need to do?
You need to go get your laptop, and you need to find a reputable PC repair shop and take it to them.
Okay. Did you get that?
Okay. Thank you. Is there anything else I could do to protect myself?
Well, first of all, we want to find out, did they even turn your machine on? Did this person do it and do any repair work on it? And if they compromised it, and you can find that out by the repair shop telling you what has been looked at, because there's a history on that machine, and they can tell you what accounts have been looked at other than what you do. And then if anything has been compromised, you then want to notify your credit card bureau. You want to notify PayPal that this may have happened. You want to be going back and looking to see what was compromised so that you can then take steps to prevent any further action on your accounts.
Okay.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate this information.
You're very welcome, and thank you for your call.
All right, that was a great call. Hey, as I mentioned earlier in the program here, this is a program today, especially today, where we encourage, viewer comments and involvement in this program, because there are a lot of people out there that have become victims of identity theft. And Blair, I know you're out there touting this warning here to residents all over the Central Valley. Let's put up the first one on the screen. On average, there are more than 3,000 new victims. Look at that. Wow, talk about this.
Well, just like that lady who just called. She's one of those today, of that 3,192 new victims of identity theft. This happens every day going on in the United States. Multiply that by 365, and you know how many people that there are, how many days that this has been going on.
So this right here is nationwide.
This is nationwide.
Every single day there's a new victim, more than 3,000.
Every single day.
Now this has to do, but I mean, they're victims in all walks of life, in terms of either they're scammed in some way, they have their credit card stolen, or their identity stolen. Somehow they're scammed, maybe their debit card. So it kind of runs the gamut, right?
And don't forget the smishing and the phishing.
The smishing and the phishing and all that
and all
stuff.
of that.
Is that included in all that?
All of that. That's inclusive of all of the invasions of someone's personal information and their identity being compromised, so that they're being stolen off of there.
Another call. Caller, go ahead.
Yes, I would just like to ask if you think these electronic wallets they use on the phones are safer or less safe than using your actual credit cards.
I don't have any personal experience on that, and I prefer to use that which is trackable. Now, if it were a foolproof way, the banks would be issuing them with the credit card, and they're not doing that right now. What we really need to do in the United States is go to the embedded chip on our credit cards and on our debit cards that we find in Europe. And
what does that mean?
That means that on your credit card, down in the little corner, there's a chip that's embedded in there that it is at this point in time not hackable. Oh. So it is protected. And we haven't done that in the United States yet, but we have that in Europe.
Because it's too costly?
It's very costly. All the merchants would have to convert their point-of-sale machines over. The banks would have to convert to the process. So it's going to be an expensive process. But we're going to get into some of what the expenses are of this later on, John, and people will see. Yeah. Perhaps if your identity is stolen, it takes a great amount of time to undo it. And that time is worth something. I'm a great advocate of technology, but what we have done is we've built all this technology and have got all this information, and we can share it all, and you can do anything and everything. We have not built in security protocols to it.
Yeah.
Foolproof security protocols.
Now, the caller, she was talking about a wallet that protects your credit card from any kind of swiping or
that would be someone who
could
walk by you in a crowded place and take the information off of your credit card
just by walking by,
if they've got the scanner.
Wow.
And that happens.
Wow.
But you know, it's not that prevalent.
Yeah. All right. We have a lot more to talk about here in the next half hour with Blair Looney. We encourage your involvement. 436-MeTV option 11. We thank you for your calls. We're back with the president and the CEO of the Better Business Bureau in a moment.
Retro TV, your home for classic television. The greatest shows in history are here for you to enjoy. Join Cosby and Culp as secret agent men in I Spy. Ride along the Ponderosa with the Cartwrights in Bonanza. Hit the beat with Joe Friday in Dragnet. And that's not all. Retro TV offers endless fun and excitement for the whole family to enjoy. Retro TV, the best in classic television.
You can find Retro TV on over-the-air channel 13.4.
All right, back here on the program, Ask an Expert, and Blair Looney is the expert. So let's talk a little bit about, I'm not sure I clearly heard the caller, but she may have also been talking about, your cell phone. You can just go ahead and swipe your card with your cell phone, right? Some kind of device on there. What is that?
They've got an app. You download credit card information, and there's a barcode into there, and so that when you go to the checkout counter, you just click it on, hold up your phone, and swipe it, and it makes a transaction happen right there. It's a
because it has your credit card
form of credit debit card information
on that
there.
app.
It's very similar to what you can put on with an airline ticket, and have that on there, so you can just swipe it at the airline.
All right. Now, question is, how safe is that? I mean,
well,
I don't know. I don't know if I'd use that.
Are you at risk?
We're at risk every day.
If you've got one of these electronic devices, you're at risk, and there's nothing that's foolproof on these.
Yeah.
That's people are looking to harvest the information off of their own.
All right, let's go to the next graphic here. We're going to put this up. Identity theft statewide ranking. We're going to put that up and show you exactly where California stacks up against the rest of the nation. Look at that right there, number 3, huh?
California ranks number 3 based on the far right column, the complaints per 100,000 people population, where we're at 105 people per 100,000 lose their identity theft. And these are numbers from the Federal Trade Commission, and they estimate that only 53% of the people who actually lose their identity report it. That means 47% never do. So half report and half don't. So in California, we are reporting that there are 40,000. There are probably 80,000, that have lost their identity last year.
But California ranks number 3 in the nation. Florida is first. Georgia second. This is the top 10 list that you're looking at here. So out of this list, you've got California 1, Nevada, Arizona, Texas. Those are kind of on the West Coast, but why is California up there so high?
Well, our population. Number one, that's why Florida is very high, also ranks with us, but it's just our sheer volume of population of people.
Yeah, and Georgia is ranked second, and they don't have near the population that we do here in California.
Right, but that's why we're way up there.
Yeah, all right, next one, identity theft city ranking, and this is, we're going to see Fresno here, right there in the top 25. My gosh, look at that.
And John, this is a national ranking. This is not just the state of California. This is one of those, hey, we should be proud of Fresno. We're not at the top of the list for being the worst, and we're not at the bottom of the list. We're right in the middle. In the top 50, we're number 25 in the nation. We're 118 people out of every 100,000 of us in Fresno County area had their identities taken, and that was 1,100 complaints, 1,100 complaints to the FTC on their reports. And remember, this is only about 53% of those people who reported.
So this isn't terrible for Fresno. It's we're kind of, like you say, we're kind of midway.
We're kind of midway when you look at us in relation to Los Angeles. You look at us from Fresno and Bakersfield. They're almost identical. You know, there's 200 separating us. Riverside, San Bernardino, Ontario is 4 times what we are. Los Angeles is 15 times what we are. Modesto's down there at the bottom at 520. They're half of what we are. It's just being aware of what it's very prevalent in the San Joaquin Valley. That is the point to be made here in our metropolitan area.
Right. The next one I want to show is fraud amount paid. This is one I don't quite understand. Maybe you can look at the graphic for us and explain what the numbers are. What are we looking at here?
Okay, so let's take the middle column, and I keep reporting that 53% of us report that we've had it happen to us.
Okay.
In this particular report, the average person out of their accounts had paid out to the person who stole their identity $3,500, $525.
That's the average.
That's the average in California, amounting to $232 million, and that's only about half of what was totally happening. In the United States, it amounted to $1.6 billion, and more people reported United States-wise than in the state of California, and the average is lower outside of California because we're such a prosperous state, and we have so many people here who are willing to give away so much information.
Yeah, we do. That's part of the problem. We give out too much information in most cases.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
All right, here are the different types of identity theft. Let's put that up on the screen now and talk about this, because there's so many different ones, and you can explain what we're looking at.
Okay, so these are the major categories that they want your identity and what they take. So they're looking, number 1 and number 2 are credit cards and government documents and benefits. Those are the 2 places where most of the fraud happens, and you can see both of them are at 23%, and they're real close together. Both of those contain an enormous amount of information about you, which is why they're so popular. That's what they want to harvest from.
IRS documents.
IRS document, income tax return, state documents, real estate transactions, those kinds of things. Your credit card then has all that same kind of information and more about you. And number 3 would be your phone and your utility bill. Why would somebody want to steal your utility bill? Any idea why they'd want that?
I'm trying to think, and I can't.
Well, because if I had your utility bill, I could go over and rent an apartment, and I could show them that I have a clean record paying my utility bill, and I can get the power turned on at that house, and PG&E is going to turn it on because I've got your previous address, I've got your account number, and I've got the history on that account. And I can now get power turned on in your name. In John Mallos's name, I can go move to a different location and assume who you are. And now I start doing my identity theft crime from there. Remember, this is what people do 365 days a year, 24 hours, 7 days a week. This is a job of these people. They're making $3,525 per person on an average in California. 3,125 of us get taken every day. If I only work 5 days a week, I'm making $15,000 stealing somebody's identity and getting into their bank accounts and getting their money.
Yeah, I want to put that same graphic up for a moment here, because we're looking at bank fraud, employment related type fraud, loan fraud. These are all kind of secondary fraud, but they're just as they're not as prevalent, but just as bad.
They're just as bad, but you know, when you look at it, it's well over 60% of it is coming from the top 3 categories. And the interesting thing is at the bottom that we only stop about 9% of the identity theft.
Yeah, I see that.
And that's why the BBB has put together this program, to make people aware so that they can take steps to help prevent it. This is an incredible crime that is never done. There's no gun involved. There's no knife involved to rob you. They're robbing you from the database that you have stored on your electronic devices.
All right, how about some of the ages here? People who are victims. I want to put that one up on the screen before we go to break here. And you can talk about this graphic too as well when we put this up. Fraud and ID theft, the victim's age. There it is right there. We're looking at some barcodes there.
One of the most interesting things is we always think that it would be the older people who would be the ones who would be victims of fraud identity theft.
Not
but
so.
Not so. When you look at that 20 to 40-year-old, they're the ones who are the major ones to be hit, and it's a real interesting reason why. Because they're the ones who are willing to share and give all kinds of information on their electronic devices. And I'm sure when we come back after the break, we will look at where those occur, what electronic devices are harvested most of the time. But it's the younger people who are the ones who are giving more information out.
Yeah, because they're the ones that have the iPads, the iPhones. It's, you know, the older generation, they not so much.
And they're more trusting. They trust that technology to be safe because it's what they've grown up with.
Yeah, and like my daughter always tells me, she's 11, why don't you ever buy anything online? You know, Mom buys everything online. You know, you never buy anything on, don't you trust online? And no, I don't.
Well, you got to make sure you use your sources early. Or we had a call from a lady who talked about her PayPal account and the concern she has whether that's been compromised for her business. You know, PayPal's a wonderful resource, and they have terrific security guards into their system. But you just still want to check with them periodically to make sure that they're not compromised there.
And just because you don't share information online doesn't mean you can't get ripped off. You can. And if there's a will, there's a way with these hackers to get into your bank account somehow, credit card, debit card, whatever it might be. 436-MeTV option 11. Back here with Blair Looney, the president and the CEO of the Fresno Better Business Bureau, in just a moment.
The Ballad of Andy and Barney. Andy and Barney were lawmen, bravest you ever did see. Warned every crook in the record book to stay out of Mayberry. They were the law.
Yes, they were the law, and they didn't know fear.
The Andy Griffith Show.
I guess to sum it up, you could say there's 3 reasons why there's so little crime in Mayberry. There's Andy, and there's me, and baby makes 3.
Now on MeTV Fresno.
Back here on the program, and your time to get involved in the fraud aspect of this. Have you been a victim of identity theft or not? Not, you know, just because you haven't at this point doesn't mean you won't. 436-MeTV option 11. Blair, I want to put the next graphic up on the screen talking about fraud, ID theft. What's the method being used by these hackers? Let's put that up and take a look real quick here, and you can walk us through it, actually.
So where's your information being harvested? So you remember right before the break, we looked at the age of the victims of identity theft, and most of them are 20 to 40 years old. They're the ones who are heavy users of email and their phones. They use it all the time. I still make a phone call on the landline. My kids don't know, what are you doing on that phone? You know, they don't understand it. So this younger generation, because they are electronically driven through email and through their phone, that's where it occurs. Now, I'll be on the internet and I'll make purchases on the internet, and you see that's about 15% of the places where they harvest me. And then traditional mail is only down at 5%. So it's a real small percentage in there, but there's some things you got to be careful about with all of these. And that's the point, that your electronic device that we believe is so safe and secure is really not that safe and secure.
Now, that graphic up there says phone, 40%. Does that mean cell phone?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Not landline.
Not landline.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, because you can, I mean, with the cell phone today, you can purchase things online. You can use it as a scanning device. You can text, obviously. Personal information is on this phone. They can track you on this phone.
This is my handheld computer.
Yeah,
it's got everything on there. It's registered to everything. And I have friends who do all of their banking online off of their phone. You know, well, that information's there. It can be harvested. The thing is, you need to be wise and be protecting yourself and be aware of your surroundings and be sure that you've got your protocols for security updated even on your phone. Do it with your laptop, you do it with your tablet, all of those things, and be very, very careful.
All right, how am I at risk? We'll put this one up and go through this. Everyone is at risk. We've talked about this before with the electronic devices. Put that up on the screen, and we'll talk about that. How am I at risk?
Well,
okay, that's the wrong one, but I guess we can talk about that. Are we going to get the other one?
Oh, there you go.
Okay. How am I at risk? Yeah, go ahead.
Well, as I've said, if you're connected, and I keep pointing to your phone, if you're connected, you are at risk. And particularly if you've linked multiple devices together, your computer connected to your phone, connected to your tablet. My phone is connected to my computer. Most of us are that way. And if you've got a tablet, you connect it in there, you're exposing information on 3 devices versus 1. So that's a very tough place. We talked earlier about your friends on Facebook, your friends' friends and the connection to them. That opens up information to you. All of us share too much information on social media, and Facebook is one of those. I love my friends who show me that it's Saturday morning and I take a look at Facebook and I see, oh, we're over in Cayucas for the weekend.
Yeah.
What they've just told everybody, the friends of my friends, who are potentially going to go rob them. They're setting people up. I'm out of town, going to be gone for a week. I'm in Maui, enjoying Maui for 2 weeks. I'll be home on this date. They've told the world that their home is vulnerable. And we share too much information that way. If you send and receive emails, and what we mean there is we all do it, but you pay attention to the emails that are coming to you. If you don't know the person who's sending to you, don't open it up. Don't let it get into your machine. As you said earlier, John, that they install malware onto your machine. There's install spyware. They're going to harvest what you have on there. So many people do all of their banking online, pay their bills online, do it that way. They have filed their income tax online from their own home computer. That information is stored on the hard drive. That malware, spyware gets in and it goes specifically looking for financial information. They don't necessarily look for anything else. They could be looking for addresses and information from there. But that's what they're doing. So that you got to be careful of who's sending you emails that you open up. And if you've ever lost your wallet or had your mail stolen, you are at risk because your wallet is filled with all kinds of documents with your information.
Now let me ask you about mail because you know, at home, many of us have those new style mailboxes that are out front of the house. Should you get a mailbox or install a mailbox that has a key, a lock and key?
You're safer with a mailbox with a key than one that just opens. Just pull the latch and it pops open. People steal your mail because it's got information about you in it. And that helps them build a profile on you.
Yeah.
They particularly like to steal your mail after you've paid your bills and you put them in the mailbox and put the little flag up. That tells the mailman to stop and pick your mail up. It also tells the thief that you've got mail in there that's outgoing, and most outgoing mail are payments, and on that payment there's a stub in there from the company with your information on it, and there's your check or your bank information attached to it, and they can now they've built the profile and harvested it. They're right into you.
Get a key for your mailbox.
What
can I do? Let's put the next graphic up. Well, what can you do to protect yourself? We've been talking about this all day long. Let's go through these before we go to break here.
So we talk about monitoring your bank and your credit cards frequently. If you feel like you've been compromised, check it out right away. But it's a good little practice to be doing every 90 days, just checking on it anyway to make sure that there's not any unusual activity.
Who do you call? Your creditors, or
you call your bank and you call your credit cards. You can go you can go online and check that information.
All right.
And if you feel like you're not getting your bills on time, I know that I get my cell phone bill on the 28th of the month, every month. If I don't have it by the 3rd or the 4th, there's possibly somebody stole my check or my phone bill, and so I need to check on that right away. So be aware of when those bills arrive, and if they don't show up on time, you may have had your mail stolen. Once a year, check your credit report. You can do it online by checking with annualcreditreport.com or by calling the 877-322-8228, and they'll give you the information on your annual credit check. Don't unnecessarily give out your Social Security number. Somebody calls you, you don't give out information over the phone about you. This is one of the biggest places. Oh, you've just won the sweepstakes and we want to give you the money, but we've got to withhold a certain amount for taxes. We need your Social Security number to do that. You give your Social Security number out, they hang up, they've got part of your information. They're running and going off with you right from there.
Right. And for those of you at home that are watching this program, Let's put that back up just real quick there, Lauren, because I want people to digest that telephone number up there. It's 1-877 322-8228. And you call that line if you want to be checking what? Your credit report?
Checking your credit report. This is one source that has all three of the major credit reporting sources coming into them. And you can look at it from there, and you can see if there's any unusual activity and how you're doing.
And once you call them, what kind of information do you have to give them? Do you have to give them your social over the phone for them to check it?
Well, yes, you do. You're going to have to give them enough information that they know it's really John Mallos who's giving them that contact, but they are a safe and secure site.
All right, we got to take a quick break here. We'll come back with our program 436 MeTV option 11. A lot more to get to before the end is coming up, well, real soon here. We're back in just a moment.
When you like Ventura TV Appliance on Facebook, it's nice. But when you love the Whirlpool appliances we deliver, it's even better. Our website is cool, and it's a good place to start. But you really should touch the merchandise before you buy. Touch the new Whirlpool Ice Collection. It offers a modern style made to create an inspiring kitchen experience. Save big on this Whirlpool Black Ice or White Ice kitchen. Come in to Ventura TV Appliance and touch the merchandise today.
And we're back here on the program. We got a call coming in. Caller, you're there, I hope?
Yes, I am.
Go ahead, and your question, please. You're on the air.
Well, I had a comment in regard to getting a mailbox that's got a lock on it. Mm-hmm. The post office has specific requirements of what size, style, and what it has to do and not do and how it's set up. So a person needs to check on that before they just willy-nilly get anything that might have a key for it.
Very good comment. And each one of us has a different kind of requirement in the neighborhood where we are. And so you want to check with the post office for what your neighborhood and your specific address is. And then when you go shopping for that mailbox, you're armed with that information. You can make the correct purchase. Thank you very much, caller. Very good point and tip.
When I checked for myself, the box that they gave me, the box that was in the catalog they gave me, was going to cost me $150 just to buy the box. And then I would have had to hire somebody to install it.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have a lock on your box right now?
Not currently, no.
Okay. Do you live in an area where you have a homeowners association that you have to deal with?
No, I don't. Okay. I live in a small, old neighborhood in a small town. And until recently, I had barking dogs.
Yeah.
But
security system. The tried and true security system.
That's right.
I'm currently installing a motion sensor.
Yeah. Well, think about getting that lockbox because it's an added layer. It's no guarantee, of course, as we all know, but it's an added layer, I guess, of protection for people. And she's right. You got to check with your post office. I would assume you got to check with your homeowners association because sometimes
have that situation.
There strict rules you got to follow sometimes.
Absolutely.
So, all right, what can I do? What can I, John Mallos, do? What can you, as the viewer out there, do? Let's put that graphic up on the screen, and Blair can walk us through this chapter and verse. Go ahead.
Well, you want to pay attention to your email and your computer, as we've discussed. Again, don't open anything that you don't know about. Make sure it's secure. Be careful about the information you disclose online. You know, where you have a habit of, we're just so trusting, we give away so much, and particularly earlier, that 20 to 40-year-old, they're the ones who trust everything electronically, and they give away all kinds of personal information. You and I both have teenage kids, and they're out there giving away so much all the time. There's just,
yeah, they're so trusting. It's unbelievable.
There's just not enough duct tape to hold their fingers together to keep them from pounding those keys. You want to make sure that your firewall software and antivirus software is up to date, and make sure you've got the most current programs.
Right.
So that,
and if you don't understand it, have your kids help you do it, like I do.
Have your kids help you do it. And you want to make sure that you update your operating system, either on the Mac operating system or on your Windows system. And with Windows, it is Windows 7 or 8 or 8.1. There are so many people who still have Vista and XP operating systems from Microsoft. It's not only that they do not support it with updates to the operating system, they do not support the security protocols built into that software.
Hey, we got more on the second page here. What can I do? Monitor your kids, guests, and employees, huh?
Oh, absolutely. People come over, they want to use your computer. You don't know where they've been, what they're doing. You know, monitor what your kids are doing. At the BBB, we have firewalls built in to keep our employees from going out and shopping and playing on certain sites, you know, just to protect the credibility of the organization, but to protect our system, because we're networked together and we've got so many servers that are involved. So you need to be paying close attention to that.
But look at that. Why don't use a public Wi-Fi? So I can't go into Starbucks anymore with...
You can go into Starbucks and you can check your email all you want. Don't go into Starbucks and decide to do a bank transaction where you disclose information on there. I don't want you to go into Starbucks and pay your bills online from Starbucks.
Okay,
that information can easily be harvested, but do communicate through an email with people. That's okay.
And what about the next one there?
Protect all of your accounts with passwords.
Okay.
And we recommend, as we get into that, you don't have the same passwords on all of your accounts, and you change your passwords frequently. BBB recommends 90 days. I know that's a lot of work, but if you've been a victim, you're going to be wanting to do it at least that often.
Yeah.
These are just little protocols for you to take and put into place.
And here's another one. Use strong passwords when you change them. Use 8 to 12 upper and lowercase letters? Okay.
Yes, so you want to make it a strong password, make it something interesting. You know, you don't want to make it John Mallow's TV host, because that would be an easy thing that someone would look for.
Yeah.
When I was talking with the realtors earlier this week, I told them, don't use homes for sale. Uppercase H for homes, the number 4, letters and numbers, because that you're a realtor, people are going to figure this out. So you want to build something that is a little unique to you.
And do not use the same password, hello everybody, for every single account that you have, right?
If you get compromised on one and you have the same password everywhere, they're accessed in and they're going to compromise every one of your accounts, which is why you have them each a little bit differently put in, and you can have it can be a single character, it could be the number that's into there, it could be the changing the order of where you put the number in there with those 8 characters.
Okay, so at the banks, okay, we see this sign at the bank, and okay, here's another one: make identity theft protection a routine priority.
That's one of the things that we really push, John, is that just regularly you're going in and it's going to be a routine priority, and make sure that any documents that you have, don't just wad them up and throw them in your trash. Somebody's going to steal your mail. Somebody's going to steal you, go through your garbage and rifle that off. We recommend that you use a cross-cut shredder. And as that, the BBB puts on Secure Your ID events with shred events that we do twice a month, starting March 14th. We'll be at Buchanan High School.
Okay.
And from 10 a.m. to 1 in the afternoon, and 2 Saturdays later, one Saturday later on the 21st of March, we'll be at the Lifestyle Furniture parking lot on Blackstone and Shaw.
You can shred your documents.
You can bring your documents to us. The first 2 banker-sized boxes are free, and we will shred them right on the spot. And then if you have additional boxes, we encourage you to bring them. And we charge $3 per box for the additional boxes. And that money, in the case of Buchanan, will go to the Buchanan Academic Decathlon team for those students there. April 11th, we're at Bullard High School and on the north parking lot, and that money that we raise there for Bullard High School will go to the Bullard Marching Band. Last year, we shredded 45 tons of information for people, and we donated back over $10,000 back into these community projects.
Blair, sadly, we're out of time. See how quick the hour went?
Oh, it's been a great day, and I thank the callers for giving us some great questions, and thank them for the tips.
Yeah, and really, I mean, we had some really good calls today. Blair, always good to see you,
John,
sir.
good to see you. Thank you for the opportunity to be here.
You're a gentleman.
Look forward to seeing you again.
And tell your staff over there that we said hello and give them our best. I appreciate it.
I certainly will.
All right, Blair Looney from the Fresno Better Business Bureau. Protect yourself out there, my friends. Don't get ripped off. Back with another edition of Connect with Me tomorrow on Me TV Fresno. Have a good day.